Good morning, good evening or good afternoon to all you fellow dreamers and creators, and welcome back to OuhSnap. In today's video I want to talk about how you can leverage the power of social media to your advantage with the help of Gary Vee's 2018 book Crushing It. This book is basically a revised version of one of his former books called Crush It, and at the core of its message are the endless opportunities modern social media offers for creators, businesses and freelancers, so people just like you and me, all over the world. Now, what does crushing it actually mean? Vee's definition of crushing it is pretty simple. If you're earning what you need to live the life you want and loving every day of it, you're crushing it. We all spend so much time at work. Why waste that time doing anything other than what we love most? Life's too short for that. And when it comes to professional opportunities, today's the best time to be alive in humankind. Because, as he puts it, social media equals business. And he doesn't want anyone to waste these opportunities.
This is my hobby. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. I love building businesses. This is fun for me. Like, I'd rather be doing this than playing Fortnite. I'd rather be doing this than skiing. I'd rather be doing this than rock climbing, yoga, cooking, watching Game of Thrones. This is my hobby.
We all know of these incredible internet success stories. YouTube stars, Instagram influencers or successful podcasters. And they all have something in common. They started from nothing and turned their hobby into their job by leveraging the power of social media. To Vee, two fundamental things have to be in place in order to make it: your product and your content. Your product should be what you're most passionate about, and it should be of an amazing quality and therefore very valuable. Talk about your product like no one else, or in other words, do your homework and give it your own touch. Building a brand by selling your product should always be the end of the goal for aspiring entrepreneurs.
I think branding always beats selling. Yeah, you'll spend 6 months, like that gentleman, on not doing as much prospecting and selling, because that's selling. And what you'll start investing into is branding. And over time, branding always beats selling. You know what's really fun about selling? Because this is where my life's at. When it all comes to you. You know what's really fun about prospecting? Is when you don't do it anymore.
And keep in mind, your product doesn't have to be a physical good that you sell to people. Instead, your product could be something else or even your own content itself. And don't worry about stuff like timing and noise. Keep focusing on your own path by being authentic and getting your message across. Everything else is secondary. Trying to take social media more seriously brings a lot of challenges. There's a lot of clutter, there are so many things you could start with, and most of the time it gets a little overwhelming and seemingly complicated. Vee breaks all of these variables down to 8 fundamentals that I will briefly explain to you, so let's get right into it. Number 1, intent. Before starting a project like this, you should ask yourself one very important question. Why are you doing this? The why matters, don't be a wantrepreneur. As mentioned earlier on, you should spend your time doing something you really like doing, and you should generally care about people that share your passion. This could be anything from a commitment to service to a love for teaching. It really doesn't matter too much. You don't have to be overly altruistic, because in a world where the standard is pretty much nothing, you just have to be altruistic enough. But if you base every decision only on what you're getting out of it, then you'll most likely fail.
You want to know what most people's vulnerability is? The reason I always win, every time I enter something else, it's what can I do for you? And not the person that has 11 million, just the person that's right next to me.
Number 2, authenticity. Your intent is always reflected in your level of authenticity, and that's why the former is so important. Because the more authentic you are, the more forgiving the world will be. People will genuinely be interested in you and what you have to offer. Authenticity is a pretty broad term, but it can be broken down into 3 things. First, don't care about what other people think. This enables you to express yourself in whatever you like. It allows you to do whatever you really want to do and to experiment. It sets you free. Second, care about what other people think. Yes, it's the total opposite of what I just said, but listen up. While you should definitely do whatever it is you want to do, you should still listen to and care about your audience. They will let you know how you can improve and they will guide you through it. It's a win-win. You build a rapport with your audience and they get better content as time goes on. Third, respect your audience. It's the most important factor of the 3 because you kind of depend on your audience. As mentioned before, you should genuinely care about your following because they are the ones you're delivering to, and what's better than having a large group of people that love and support you. A joy shared becomes twice the joy and a sorrow shared becomes half a sorrow.
Because people are worried about judgment. And people are worried about short-term economics. People don't say things because they're worried about their short-term economics. I don't know what else to say. They're scared to say something that may cost them money now, and they just don't understand. Life is chess, not checkers, and everybody's doing things that are so literal.
Number 3. Passion. Most hours in adult life are spent working. Make these hours rewarding, productive and enjoyable. Your business can't just be a job. Passion is your backup generator when all your other energy sources start to sputter. And passion keeps you happy. However, remember this. It's not just about passion. You also have to follow through and execute. Don't talk, do. Nobody who ever gave his best regretted it.
There's a lot of people that make $55,000 a year when they're 23. The problem is they go to Coachella and they want to buy a watch and they want to buy a BMW, and I didn't. So I ate shit for 13 years.
Number 4. Patience. Be patient because when you get there you will have the time of your life. It's going to be a long and tough grind, but it will pay off. Or as V likes to say, you're going to eat shit for a long time, but it will be worth it. Number 5. Speed. Yes, I just basically told you to be patient, but think about it like this. Patience is for the long term, whereas speed is for the short term. The pressure that builds between these two produces the diamond. You have to constantly be in the do mode and give it your best. Once you make a mistake, learn from it and move on. What's the use of dwelling? If you try new things, stay consistent with them and deliver valuable content all the time. The results will come. Number 6. Work. If you know Gary Vee, then you know about this one. He's a workhorse and his results speak for themselves. And when you first start out, there's no time for leisure if you want to crush it. Try to spend your time with working as much as you possibly can. Create new content, engage with people all over the internet and keep on delivering value. The time it's going to take you to get where you want to be is directly correlated to the time you put into it.
My friends, there is nothing more important right now, period, in our society than to be an unbelievable communicator in a contemporary manner. It is reshaping our societal norms, our politics, our retail, everything. How can you sit at home and talk to your closest friends and relatives about how this and social media has changed politics, has ruined our children, has done all this stuff, and not feel that it can impact your business?
Number 7. Attention. Pay attention to everything that happens around you, or rather, if it can be associated with your brand and where it's shifting to. For example, years ago, a lot of people mastered Instagram, just in case it blew up, while others were still debating to even create an account. Don't be that kind of person and stay with the trends. Keep your eyes open. Use every platform available to you, document your actual life and speak your truth. Let your audience get to know you and let them watch you develop into who you want to become. Document your journey basically. You don't have to fake it to make it. Remember, authenticity is your key. And don't worry about seeming vain, instead embrace it. Everybody who's crushing it did, it's totally okay. Keep this in mind, if you're not 100% happy with your life today, it is never a waste of time to try something that could get you there. Now let's get into the final and most important fundamental. Number 8. Content. Now I'm not going to dive too deep into this because I can't reach the same level of extent and quality as Gary Vee does in his book. If you want to get to know even more and hear it from him, you should definitely give this book a shot. Just remember that your content is the most important part of your work because, as I mentioned earlier, it can also be your product itself. That's why it's so important to constantly deliver high quality native content. We'll mention that later on again. The most important factors of content are the following. First, be present on as many platforms as possible. The most common and easiest to use platforms are the likes of Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. They have huge user bases and it's incredibly easy to reach out to people and connect. Other more challenging channels would be something like YouTube, podcasts and even Snapchat. These are the kinds of platforms that require more work and even equipment sometimes, like YouTube and podcasts. Or their user base isn't as interlinked as other platforms. That's Snapchat for example. And do you remember number 7? Always keep your eyes open for upcoming trends that you might be a part of. Platforms like Vine, Musical.ly and TikTok, because you can find a lot of success on there too. Just give platforms like this a shot and see if you like them or not, and then go on from there. I'm seeing people crushing it on TikTok while they have a mediocre follower base on Instagram. Now here's a little tip. I would advise you to get on that platform now because it will most likely keep rising in popularity.
The kids that were in college when Facebook came out and the parents said they were going to go on Facebook, they said, please don't. And the parents didn't because they thought it was college kids, and then they woke up 3 years later and it mattered. If TikTok becomes the next Instagram, it'd be a really good idea for you to be on it. And if it does not, and it becomes the next Vine, the things you would learn by producing content for it will help you with the next thing that is going to become the next Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
The other important thing, put yourself out there and let people discover you. The easiest way to do this is by using smart hashtag strategies, DMs, and by collaborating. Let's take the hashtags for example by applying one of Gary Vee's famous techniques. You basically browse through 5 to 10 of the most popular hashtags in your niche and simply comment on a few posts each and every day. Try to leave sincere comments that offer some value and that people can respond to, more than just commenting wow.
So like literally you go into here and you type in fitness, right? Mm-hmm. And you go into the tags, right? And you hit that.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
And now you need to like look at people's stuff,
Gotcha.
really consume it, and then leave a comment like, yo bro, that's doing it right.
Gotcha.
You need to become part of the community,
Okay.
not just pushing out.
Gotcha.
If you go hard 4 times a day, shit for them.
Simply try to be genuinely helpful and caring, and keep in mind that techniques like this are often a long and tedious process. It can also get very time consuming, so you'd have to take that into account, but that also means that most other people won't do it, and if you do, you will win. Now before I end this already pretty long video, I would say something about native content, as promised. Native content basically means that you shouldn't just recycle your content from one platform and paste it on all the others, instead you should try to make every single one of your platforms stand out somehow. Instagram and Twitter are totally different mediums and they also have different audiences, so you should try to tailor your content towards them. Instagram is a much more visual oriented platform, whereas Twitter is perfect for quick, bite-sized bits of content. A little trick you could use is splitting one piece of content, let's say a 5-minute video for Facebook, IGTV or YouTube, and cut it into little chunks that you can use for other platforms. Let your creativity guide you here. Last but not least, we want to tell you that you have to take a chance. The most important thing is simply that you get started and do something. Don't get caught up in all the details and don't let yourself be intimidated by all this information. There are countless others that have made it and I believe that you can too. Everyone is playing the same game. If you don't play offense all the time, every day, every year, no matter how successful you become, someday you will wind up playing defense.
And so every day is gonna go by. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. And you're gonna look for the short game. You're gonna look for that miracle algorithm. You're gonna look for that one move that's gonna change your outcome. And you're gonna continue to search and play the short game while I keep putting in the work, the hours, the long-term value, and putting in the work while everybody else is hoping and dreaming. I'm gonna be executing.
If you have any more questions or if you want to know more about this, feel free to reach out to us and don't forget to check out our other platforms like Instagram and YouTube. If you didn't know yet, we also feature a lot of blog posts on our website OuhSnap.com that we write ourselves and that have immense value in them, so feel free to check those out as well. With that said, simply start hustling and chase your dreams no matter what. My name is Robin and I'm wishing you all out there happy holidays and have a great time with your families. Goodbye and see you next time.